Welcome to the Root of Power podcast, where I teach you how to chase your joy, find alignment, and create a life and a business that you love, using actionable methods, interviews, and inspiring stories from people who know that true freedom is found within. I'm your host, your always hype woman and sometimes ass kicker, Amanda Chills, and I am so proud of you for choosing to step into your power. Come along, we've got dreams to build. Okay, my love, I have put everything that I offer for free on one page so that we are not doing more work than we have to, because why would we do that? Hashtag work smarter, not harder. So livemyhappyhealth.com/free. You are going to find everything I've created for not only leveling up in your personal life and building a life that you love, but leveling up in your business life and building a business that you love. Okay? livemyhappyhealth.com/free. Love you. Okay, hello, podcast fam. I have got a treat for you today. Candace Drummond out of Florida. So another Florida baby. What's up?
I'm here.
Hi. Yes, thank you for doing early in the morning, by the way. Well, I guess it's like 9, but whatever.
Yeah, I like early.
We'll call it early. Me too. Are you like a gym morning person?
Yeah. Get up, get some stuff done, get moving. Yeah.
Right. Listen, if I go after work, I hit like bro hour. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Oh, bro hour. And it's like all these little, okay, no hate against high schoolers, but like hella shade against high schoolers. Like they don't know what they're doing. They're lifting too much weight. They're always in my way at the squat rack. And I'm like, can you move? Like I can't. And they're always teaching some little girl how to lift, and I'm like, boo, you don't know what you're doing.
Yes.
You were lifting wrong. And I'm just like, God bless you. Why do we do this? But that's not the point of today. So Candace is a clinical psychologist and a licensed therapist. Hi, you love to talk to other therapists. And you most often work with moms, helping them not lose their minds.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay,
yeah.
Amazing. How did you decide that this is what you want to do, and how did you land with moms?
So, I've been actually in the mental health field for about 17 years. I started out working with kids, and years and years ago, I had so much theoretical knowledge about parenting and behavior modification and all of that stuff. And then, COVID hit.
Yeah.
And I had a 3-year-old when COVID hit, and I was a single mom.
Wow.
And an entrepreneur. Yeah. And so 24/7 with my little girl.
Wow.
Yeah, like you say, I pretty much lost my mind, and I don't know if you know, but kids, they have no boundaries with their moms. Like,
I don't have kids for a reason,
right? Dads get off so easy, but moms, like they're at the foot of the toilet while you're pooping. They're just sitting there, like, yeah, so ma, like.
You're like, can I poop alone? And they're like, no. Remember when you watched me poop and you cheered me on? I'm doing it for you now.
Right. I mean, they have no sense of boundaries, no sense of alone time, no sense of any of it. So you really have to train that. And I realized as a mom and a mompreneur that a lot of times we don't make time for ourselves. We become, robotic almost.
Mm-hmm.
We have to do this. We have to do that. We have to be here. We have to be there. Right. All of those things. And so I point out to people that, heart disease is the number one killer of women. And the number one cause of heart disease is stress.
Yeah.
So it is not a big leap to say that women are literally stressing themselves to death. And so, yeah.
And I would bet those rates are even higher for women of color and for women in lower income, obviously. And single moms versus, not that having a partner means you have a good partner or a good parent, but like being a single mom is much harder. Unless your partner's really shitty, which a lot of dudes are.
I
So
mean,
then it like compounds.
yeah, the reality is that, I mean, even if you have, what would be purported as a good partner, I mean, a lot of the times, like, you're not getting any support with child rearing activities.
Yeah.
Simply because, like I said, it's not socially expected for the man to really contribute to that.
Right.
And, men don't have any problems with taking time for themselves. Men have men caves, they've got time with the boys, they've got, their study that no one's allowed in, they have all of these, spaces and boundaries and things that, like I said, moms, we just get. And so I like to really point out the importance and, just really for women, like I said, women, mompreneurs, entrepreneurs, like it's really important to understand that self-care is not a luxury. It is a necessity.
It is self-preservation.
Yes.
Hands down. And I find that moms get it the worst. So like women are already socialized to give up their needs for literally everyone. And I live in the South. So I grew up in Florida, but now I live in North Carolina. And let me tell you, the culture shock of like people pleasing and socialization of women in the South. I'm like, what fucking planet do you live on? Like, it is so damaging. It's so damaging. And then you compound that with like, I live in a rural area. So it's very heavily religious, is very heavily like, WASP, like white Anglo-Saxon Protestant Christian. And that messaging is very prevalent as well. Like a woman's place is always a servant. Guess who they're serving?
The men.
Okay. Not to hate on Christianity, but it is built into the tenets, not to hate on the South, but it is built into the culture here. So I don't think we can talk about like prioritizing yourself without talking about how we have to undo all of that programming. And it's so much. And then again, compounded by the culture you grew up in. If you're a person of color, like those things matter. And it's so much programming. And then you add being a mom where like you have to literally take a back seat because you have to keep a whole human alive.
Right.
So, like, you're not your first priority all the time anymore. And then you're just drowning. And it's like you're drowning and someone hands you a baby.
Yeah.
And they're like, here you go, you'll be fine.
Yeah, this will be better. This will make it better.
This will be better. You're actually drowning, but like, here's a baby. And you're just like, what I need is a life jacket. But okay. So you were the life jacket. So how did we get into mom? So you started out working with kids.
Yeah. So like I said, it was really my own experience with my own daughter that really turned me into, like you said, more of the crusading for moms and mompreneurs, because like I said, I had all this theoretical knowledge, I had all of these ideas and plans, and I figured out which ones actually worked.
Yes.
Because, there's some that look like they should work, and
but they don't account for reality. Yeah.
Exactly. And so I figured out a few of these that would really work, and got my daughter to really buy in to my need for me time.
Oh, we love that. It does take convincing, right? Because kids are like, I don't care about you.
Not at all.
You're supposed to care about me.
Exactly. I mean, even right now, like my daughter is inside, we've already had our breakfast time. We've already had some time for us to kind of talk and, discuss like how she's feeling, what she's planning for the day and all of that. And, and so like now when I say, okay, I've got to go be in this meeting, she's like, all right, no problem. I'm going to go do my thing. Busy. Yeah, exactly.
What are her plans? What is a 5-year-old's plans for the day?
Well, yes,
maybe they're more fun than mine.
Yeah, she's got big plans. So she's starting out with some stuff on TV. She's going to be watching. What did she pick this morning? I'm not sure, but she's starting out with some stuff on TV. I think Little Mermaid or something. Then she's going to actually write. She's going to be drawing a picture about whatever it is that she watches, because that's usually the next step, because we create these work blocks. So she watches something and then she does like a little project about it. So she'll draw me a picture about it. She'll write me a short story with the words that she knows how to spell, and she'll do those things. And then when my meeting's over, I've got stuff to review. where
My
I'm
child
gonna
likes to
go.
also be on camera.
Hey, trust me, I got one. I love cats, so I know exactly how they are.
I think
But
people just watch on YouTube for the cat.
like,
Yeah.
like where's he gonna? There he is.
So she's busy. She's
busy.
like, I got plans. You know what? You do you. I also have work to do.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
How long did it take you like train that? Because she's probably 5-ish now, 5 or 6.
She just turned 6 about 2 weeks ago. So really, it only took a couple of days because the tasks and the activities that I present are things she wants to do. And so even the ones that she has to wait for, like, okay, after my meeting, we're going to get to do an even more preferred activity, and so she, like you said, she is busy being good for this next, preferred activity. Right. And so what I did was I actually created a list of sample preferred activities by age. And so my Mommy Me Time course is actually listed on my website. And that actually gives you, if you've got little ones, infants, toddlers, if you've got preschoolers, if you've got, if you got high schoolers, even, I always say the You're So Lame, the group, like we even have stuff for them. Okay.
You drop me off around the block.
Right.
You're like, bitch, I'll pay your bills, but okay.
Right?
That's funny. I love that because I think I like that because it creates a structure that people can then personalize. And I think where a lot of coaches and therapists as well go wrong is like they'll give people answers, but that's not what people need. That's not teaching them to think. That's not teaching them to personalize. It's saying this worked for me, so it'll absolutely work for you. And it's like their life is completely different. Like you both have a kid, but that's probably where similarities end. So to give people a framework that they can fill in makes so much more sense.
Yeah. So it's like you said, customizable schedule. So it gives you the sample schedule for the day. So you can kind of understand how to coordinate what I call the blocks. And these are blocks of time that, coordinate between you and your child. So again, it depends on if you work from home, if you work outside the home, if you're a stay-at-home mom, if you're a mom of multiples, if you're a mom of littles, if you're a mom of teenagers. I mean, all of that is going to be able to be, like you say, customized to your schedule and what works for you and what's going to be best for you.
So do you only do this or do you do like therapy as well? How did you, were you like in a therapy realm when you got here? Like walk us through your journey.
So, like I said, I've been in mental health for about 17 years. I started out working with kids and then I went into the prison system and I worked there for about 3 years. And then I went into substance abuse, residential substance abuse facilities, homeless facilities, for a few years as well. And then I realized that, through all those years of doing therapy, I've heard probably close to 10,000 or more stories about people's lives. And I realized that in the beginning of therapy, most people lie. They don't mean to necessarily, but you present the best version of yourself. Yeah. And so I would have these situations where I'd be like, working in therapy with somebody for a couple of months, and then they'd come into therapy and they'd be like, you know what, doc, I didn't really tell you the truth about
everything is actually way more dumpster fire than I let on. And you're like, ha ha ha, yes.
And so then we'd kind of have to pull back, start again, that sort of thing. And so I went back to school to get my doctorate in clinical psychology because psychological testing kind of cuts through a lot of those first 3 months. You can really kind of get down to what is really the problem and all of that, and really, really quickly. And so my practice, Avid Intellectual, I opened in 2017, and we do exclusively testing, psychological testing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's so funny that you do that. I have thought about going back to school. So I have a master's. I've thought about going back for clinical psychology because there's no one in my entire county that does testing.
See?
And the people in the bigger city above us is like 3 to 6 to 9 months out. And I'm just like, bro, all I have to do is go to school for like 3 years.
It's not hard.
Like, I can go to school for 3 years. I went to school for 20 years. I can go to school for 3. So maybe we'll talk about that after. But so you do a lot. You do a lot. So, okay. So you started your own with the testing, which is fascinating. And then you also do this.
Yes.
How do you do that and like not combust?
I have a really, like you said, I have a really good schedule, and my daughter is on an amazing sleep schedule since she's been like 4 months old. So like right about 8 o'clock, she just kind of shuts down.
We love that.
It's really great. It's like, even if we're out, like she's just like,
I can't tell you how many booths I fell asleep in as a child.
Exactly.
There's like so many. I think that's where I took most of my naps. It was like booths in a restaurant because I was tired. Wow, that is fascinating. So part of the work that you do, right, is working with moms so you can like time block and make time for yourself. Like, so you essentially run 2 businesses.
Yeah.
I can imagine you're very busy and you have a child.
Yeah.
So again, you're very busy. Obviously what you're doing works because you seem stable.
Yes,
you seem happy. Now that I say that, so one, I want to get into like how you got here and the systems that you teach and like what it took for you to be like, oh shit, I really need systems. But something I notice as well, and I, my brain just stopped working. Why would it do this? Something I bet you noticed too, we're back, is that when people are overwhelmed, when women are overwhelmed, like men tend to get angry when they're overwhelmed, but I find that women tend to get like scattered and sad. And I don't know if that's something that like you see too, but like there's this overwhelming, it's like, if like you're a light, right? I think of people as like lights, essentially, when we're really in our zone, when we're in our integrity, when we're like living a good life, people are so light and they like radiate that. But it's like when you're overwhelmed and you're not taking care of yourself and you're not even on the list of things you take care of, which like for most moms, they're not. And for most women, they're not. And then it's like compounded when you're a mom. It's like way worse. It's like someone throws a wet blanket on you and like the light is there, but it's under all this weight.
Yes.
And then through this work, it's like we start pulling that blanket off and pulling that blanket off. And they're just like, oh my God, I didn't even realize how heavy the things were that I was carrying. Yeah. And I wonder if you see that too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of moms, well, mom guilt is huge.
Oh my God.
That's the first thing, because like you say, we're socialized to believe that we live for our children. Mm-hmm. When that literally is the opposite, like they cannot live without us.
Right.
They need us. So we need to really be mindful of how well we take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
But like you said, the whole socialization is that we give up ourselves, is that we become martyrs to the system. And like you said, that's really what I noticed. That's why I see the sadness, is that it's almost like we grieve the person we used to be.
You're so good.
And so, that's what happens a lot of the times. We see it and we want to be a piece of that person, but we're like, is that okay? Is that allowed? Yeah. Can I still be a mom? Especially, the moms that want to look attractive, right? Am I allowed to still be sexy?
Yeah.
If I have a child, am I allowed to still even think about being sexy? Like, is that allowed?
Yeah. And it's like damned if you do and damned if you don't, right? If you don't go to the gym, if you gotta hate the phrase let yourself go, like I want that phrase to burn in hell.
Yeah.
So like if you don't prioritize your aesthetic health, maybe is the way we'll go with that, you are belittled and you're shamed. I mean, like the trend of like dad bod, notice there's no mom bod trend.
No.
The dad bod is sexy.
Oh yeah, they're mannequins now. Have you seen it?
No.
Oh yeah, they're mannequins in stores that are dad bod shaped, that are pretty much like half pregnant men bods.
But women had to fight so hard to, that makes me so angry. Like, yay, bigger male bodies, like getting representation. We love that. But like, what the fuck? So, and if you take time to go to the gym, you're selfish and you're trying to capture your youth, and how dare you take time away from your children, and blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, on all fronts. Go to work, don't go to work. Stay home, don't stay home. Like,
absolutely.
It's like, oh, I'll give you a break so you can go grocery shopping. And it's like, that's not a break.
Not at all.
That's not a break. All. And it makes me so sad because it is sad. You're right. And they do grieve the life that they could have had and the life that they're not having. And I feel like for a lot of women, and it's not really talked about, it feels like a prison.
Absolutely.
And I wish women talked about it more, because I also strongly believe that a lot of women have children that they don't really want to have. And then they're literally trapped.
Yeah. The expectation.
In a life they don't want.
Yeah.
And then you and I see the end of it, where we have these kids who grow up to be adults, who had parents that never wanted to be parents.
Yeah.
Or who had parents who didn't have the resources or the support to be fully present parents, which also happens all the time.
Yeah.
And so much of that comes from saying, hey, not just you, but me too.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
But what I always want to point out to people is that when we see celebrities, hiring 6 nannies for their newborn, and still traveling the world, not taking any time off tour or anything.
Right.
We are not critical of them. We are not. We're all like, oh, that's so cool. That's so cute. That's so great. Wonderful. Yes. Cardi B was like, oh, I can't wait to have lipo after I have my child, to get my body back in shape.
Yeah.
And again, oh yeah, that's great. Be the woman you want to be. But then a regular woman like you or I talk about, oh, I want a nanny, or I would like some help or some assistance. And we're like, why? Why do you need help? Right. Well, why do you want to go back to work? Why do you want to continue doing the thing that you've been doing for the last 20 years? What do you mean you're not going to just quit?
You're not giving up your life?
And it's so strange to me that there are these double standards that they talk about. What's something that's impressive if you're rich, but looked down upon if you're poor? It's the same sort of thing here. That it's like, it's so impressive if you can maintain a family and keep working and all of that, when you're Beyonce, when Jay-Z had to literally pay her, to take the time off to have a baby because it was going to interrupt her career. Like, oh yeah, that's impressive. Yeah. That's wonderful. But if I say, hold up, brother, like I'm going to be losing some money here.
Right.
If I take the time off to have a baby, I'm selfish.
You're a gold digger.
I'm a gold digger. Yes. So again, it's just, like you said, we have to get through so much conditioning, so much socialization, and get to the point where we have to really feel free to not only express the real feelings that we have sometimes about our kids and about ourselves, but then also to be like, I come first. Yeah. Like, I mean, my parents already know, like, I mean, my daughter, I don't live for my daughter. Like, I love her. She's awesome. Yeah. But, I might put her in regular school while I'm here, but the virtual thing is looking real attractive to me because I want to travel the world. That's what I want to do.
Why not?
I'm not willing to sit down for 10, 15 years and wait for you to finish school. Like, that's not a part of my plan.
You just come and win. And
yes.
I love that point that you make because, one, kids with parents who take care of their own needs and obviously their child's needs. Now there's a spectrum to that, right? There's parents who are like, I don't give a damn what you need. I'm super selfish. I'm going to do everything I want. That. Like, no. Hard pass. And then there's parents on the other end of the spectrum who are like, I have no needs and I'm a martyr. And it's like, both are extremely unhelpful and damaging, but there is a nice happy middle.
Yes.
Which, like, one of the reasons I don't have kids is because I know I would not be in the middle. I would be like, my life belongs to you. And I'm just like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Like, I know I would be like that. I'd be like, I have to stay home and stare at you all day long. And I'm obsessed with you. And I never leave anywhere without you. Like, I already know how I would be. So I'm just like, no, thanks. I have a farm and I stay home with them. Like, I don't travel the world because I have a farm.
Yes.
But I can get someone to babysit the farm much easier than I can get someone to babysit a child. And I would have to take the child. I'm not taking like my donkey. I'm not like, hey, come to Peru with me, donkey. Although they'd probably be like, hell yeah, we love this.
Right.
New grass. This is my best life ever. But I had a point to that. So there is a happy middle where like your kid is taken care of and they are happy and they have their needs met and they have some of their wants met, and where you are happy and your needs are met and your wants are met. And it's like, if we get it right, and it sounds like this is the system that you work with moms to build, if we get it right, you can have both. And then both of you are so much more fulfilled. Yeah. And neither, it's like the difference between compromising and collaborating, right? Like in a compromise, one person loses, but in a collaboration, both people win.
In a compromise, I feel like both lose just a little. Like that's they always say, if it's an effective compromise, neither person's happy.
Right? That. Why can't we just collaborate? I want us both to win. Like it's a win.
Exactly. Win. And my daughter loves to travel because that's who I am. She's, she's been traveling since she was, I think our first trip, she was 8 weeks. And like 4 months. By the time her passport got renewed at 5 years old, she had 20 stamps.
Okay, your daughter is way cooler than I am.
So like we're out, and so like
traveling with such a little one. Like, where have you guys gone? Like, what is that like?
So again, I always traveled, like literally always. My parents moved from Barbados, where I was born, to Jamaica when I was 2 years old.
I was going to ask if you immigrated to the U.S.
Yes. And so I grew up in Jamaica, for about 9 years. And then I came to Florida. Mm-hmm. And so just moving around has always kind of been a part of me.
Side note, Caribbeans are the most, like, I don't listen. If you're not Caribbean, you can die mad about this statement. Caribbeans are the funnest people. My family's Cuban. So my mom is like white girl from Illinois, but my dad is Cuban, and like Caribbeans, I'm just like, oh my God, let me hang out with Caribbean people 24/7.
They're great fun.
They're so fun. They're so fun. And I'm just like, give me all the Caribbeans. And they're so like, okay, this is a total tangent, but I want to talk about it for a second because I think it matters, right? The parenting style is extremely different. And I feel like because Caribbeans and most, I don't want to say foreigners, like most other countries, like they're so much more chill. And then they're happier because they're not so fucking uptight. Yeah. And it's like, bro, like you'll be fine. You'll just be fine. So I find that is very true about Caribbeans. They're like, life is fine. It's good. Whatever. And I'm just like, I want to like bathe in that energy. A total aside. But we were talking about traveling with a baby, which I think a lot of people want to do and don't know how. So
it's very easy. So what I would always suggest to people, keep them on the same schedule. So like, for instance, we went to Portugal when she was like maybe like 2 or something. And if you don't know, I mean, like, first off, we came from Florida to Newark. So it was like a 2-hour flight that way. Mm-hmm. And then going to Portugal, it was overnight. Yeah. And so I ensured that, she was ready for bed when we got on the plane. Mm-hmm. And she did sleep the majority of I think it was like a 16-hour flight. So again, she doesn't sleep 16 hours. That's not because then also So she slept the majority. I'd say probably about 12.
Yeah.
And so that part was actually very easy because by the time she got up, we did our normal things that we would do in the morning. You know, I would walk her to the little bathroom, we brush her little teeth, you know, all of that good stuff. But the most important thing, and I say this for all infants and toddlers, if you're traveling with infants and toddlers, feed them on descent. Oh. So, you know, you hear the pilot come on and say, hey, we're starting our initial descent into whatever.
Yeah.
Start feeding them. So if they're bottle fed, if they're breastfed, if they take little snacks, feed them on descent. It helps with the ear popping.
Oh, because they're chewing.
Exactly.
Oh, you are clever.
And no one will ever complain about your screaming baby. Okay? Because they're too busy stuffing their face. And by the time they're done, they're sleep drunk, you know, milk drunk, and they fall asleep. And that takes care of all of those pressure changes completely. So regardless of how old your little one is, feed them on descent.
I've never heard that, but that makes total sense.
It works every time. So I used to, like I said, when she was bottle fed, you know, I gave her a bottle when we started descent. When she started to take those little like yogurts or applesauce in those little tubes, I'd give her one of those on descent. You know, right now, like I said, she's 6, so you know, we have crackers or gummy bears or really anything, and it works every time.
Has that helped with her? Like, I know a lot of kids go through like a picky eater stage. Has it, like, exposing her to so many like foods and cultures and things like that? Like, has that helped her just like eat whatever?
She eats what I tell her. That's kind of how that works. Like you said, the parenting styles of Caribbean folks are very, very you eat
eater
eater starve, you know.
Well,
I give some choices, you know, within a certain parameters, but you know, it really is very much. And she will tell you things like, "Oh, I like this. I've had it before." She's never had it before. or she'll be like, "Oh, I don't like this. I don't know what, you know," and she eats it. She ate it.
Right. She eats it regularly.
Right. Like, you know,
That's
so
funny.
Yeah, just ignore her. Like whatever.
Just ignore her.
Just we'll be fine.
That's funny.
So I mean, like, I know the things that she will eat. I know the things that But she's not very picky. She prefers.
Well, she's gonna be hungry. So
she prefers home cooked food to fast food.
Yeah.
I think that just has more to do with like it being soft and easy to, you know, because you know, like when you're changing out teeth, it's not not easy to like bite into hard things and stuff like that. So I think that's really more where she's at with all of that. She's a lazy eater, you know. She's like she likes porridge, mashed potatoes, you know, stuff that'll just dissolve. Like she doesn't have to chew or do much work.
So funny.
So like I said,
I don't know her, but I love her.
Yeah, she likes soup, you know. She likes.
She's like, whatever, just put it in a bowl and mash it.
Yeah, exactly. Like she's like, you know, you can mash it and mix it up. Then I'm good at that.
Did you want to be a mom? Is this your first kid? Like, had you wanted to be a mom for a while?
I did not want to be a mother.
And here you are.
Nah, I did not.
You don't have to go super deep.
Yeah. No. I loved the freedom because I had her at 31.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really, like I said, I wasn't really going for that. But I also was too old to be like, you know, I feel like I was just too old to be like, I can't do it. You know, like, damn it, I'm I'm 31. Like, I can keep a person alive.
We're doing it.
I
think I can do it.
I think I can do it. Exactly. So every day, like you said, it is a juggle between the old messages of you have to give up yourself, you have to give up everything to be a mom. When I'm like, but I did my whole life. Like she just got here. Like I'm still working on stuff. Like
right, and still want to do stuff.
Yeah,
I like to find. So a lot of my clients joke that I'm like a toddler, because they'll say something, right? And I'm sure you run into this all the time when like beliefs get programmed and people just think they're gospel.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, but why?
But why?
And they're like, well, I can't do that. And I say, why? And they're like, well, blah, 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 whatever reason. And I'm like, but why?
But why?
Doesn't make sense. But why? So when people are like, you have to give up your life, you can just be like, why?
Yeah, no, actually, we were living in Jamaica for the past 2 years.
Awesome.
Just
while running your practice in Florida.
Yeah, just like I said, just
that bitch. What the hell? Okay.
Like I didn't want to live here anymore, and so I moved to Jamaica, got myself a nice apartment overlooking the ocean, and I still have it, by the way, but we just got back like maybe 2 weeks ago. And like I say, I'm really here thinking about like, where's next? Like, I've got a project I'm working on between now and December. Yeah. And it's very possible that in January, we're going to move to Mexico or Fiji or
wherever. That is so cool. So you were running your business remotely. Like, do you have a team with your psychologist? Okay. So you have like a team that works for you.
Correct.
How big is your team? Okay. That's incredible. Like, how big is your team?
Right now it's small, it's growing, it's regrowing. It used to be about 20 psychologists, on my team. Right now we have about 7. Like I said, we're revamping. And they're throughout the nation because I can hire in any state, independent contractors. I just find the contracts from various sources that need the services. And then I provide the practitioners for these various offices and services. So I do, like I say, only testing. So we do for Division of Vocational Rehab in Florida, in Tennessee, in Wyoming. And then we also have some government contract winners in California, Nevada, New Mexico, that I provide their subcontractors. So we have a whole system. Timeify is my go-to. I would actually give them a shout out. It's a software that lists and manages all of my contractors. I have
bananas.
I have a virtual assistant that's in the Philippines that's been working with me for the past 5 years that I've never met. And I send her a Christmas present every year because she's amazing.
Life-changing.
And
holy cow.
Like that's how I do it. And then most of the coaching stuff and the e-courses are on the website, on the shop site. So those are automated, they can sell themselves.
God bless the internet, bro. So you and I perhaps are similar. So you're doing it to a like way cooler level. Like, we'll be asking you questions.
No.
So it doesn't take me, how do I explain this? When I do therapy, I make a good income not working like full time, right? Yeah. Because the way the structure is set up. So I was like, I'm kind of bored. You know what I'm going to do? Reach more people.
Yeah.
I'm going to just do things like this podcast. I'm going to build courses. I'm going to do stuff like that. And I wonder, like, is that how you decided? Like, obviously you became a mom and you were like, holy shit, moms need help, which yes, 100% they do. But that time freedom really allows you to build out the courses and to do the coaching. And it's cool because you get to have like this business that changes lives. And then you get to have this business that changes lives. And both are like it sounds like in such alignment for you and what you want to do. And I actually love that this conversation kind of gravitated here, because I think a lot of people think that's not possible.
Yeah.
And you're like literally living proof that like you can actually do what you want to do. You just have to structure it appropriately. You have to prioritize appropriately, but you're never going to be able to do what you want to do if you're not even on the list of people you don't take care of.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay. Love.
Like that's huge. Like you said, the first thing is to really realize that you need to be at the top of that list. Like, before, I would always feed my daughter before I feed myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I plan my meal first.
Oh.
Right? Because when I'm done feeding her, I can't go out and get my thing. Right? Because she's down now.
Yeah.
I plan my meal first. What do I feel like eating?
Yeah.
And I'll go and I'll get that and I'll make sure it's there. And then I'll set her up. Like I said, I feed her first.
Yeah.
But I plan me first. And that's how I really want for moms to think in that way, that it's not that we're taking care of everyone else first. We're planning or preparing to take care of ourselves first.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And then if shit goes wrong, if things get off track, like you still have at least things set up and systems in place. Ooh. So how do you take women through that? So they like start to work with you and they're like, oh my God, Candace, you are my person. Like, yes, let's work together. What is that journey like?
So a lot of the times, I mean, first off, they, like I said, they come to me wanting to create this time for themselves. They come to me wanting to prioritize themselves. How do I do this? How do I get over the mom guilt?
Yeah.
That's huge. I have a whole series of like, There Are Worse Moms Than You. That I share with my moms all the time. Yeah, and I mean, it'll be really obvious things though, like, eagles like for their child to be, the strongest. They want to show that their child is the strongest, the best in the nest, all of that. So they make their children fight to the death.
Oh my God. It's like the Hunger Games, but
right.
Damn.
So now let's think about that. Like, you want your kids to be the best. Are you going about it this way?
Fear?
No, then you're good. You're good.
They're brutal. I'll tell you, like, we have chickens, and if there is anything wrong with a baby a baby chick, the mom just like literally pecks its brains out.
Yeah.
And they're just like, nah, you're gonna die. And I'm like, oh my
God. Right.
Exactly.
And that's just like, so really when we start to kind of program, and again, that's a part of the reprogramming, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, look, man, you're doing good. Okay?
You're at least better than eagles.
Like, your kid's alive? Yes.
Right.
Your kid's fed? Yes. Your kid's clean? Yes. Your kid's healthy? Yes. Okay, we're done here.
Yeah. Like, you met the minimum standards. You're here trying to work on yourself. Okay, you're literally doing better than a lot of people.
A lot of folks.
Oh my God.
Okay. A lot of
kids fight to the death.
So like I said, I start a lot of sessions that way. You see? Exactly. And so from there, and I have a whole series of them. So, like we'll come in and we'll talk about, all right, so, how's, and cleaning, like keeping the house clean. That is like the bane of every woman's existence.
Yeah. And every couple fights.
Exactly. And so, I encourage a few things. One, can we engage the children in the cleanup?
Yeah.
Right? Because again, if they get something out of it, i.e. a happy mom, i.e. a preferred activity, i.e. and you know what I'm saying? All of these different whatever, then they're more inclined to buy
kids
in.
can do it, right? They're like, oh, my kid can't do it. I'm like, your kid can pick something up and put it in a basket.
Yeah.
You just don't want to train it.
Exactly. And again, making the systems so that they can accomplish this task, right? Because of course they're not going to be able to color code their toys or put them in order of size or whatever it is that you had it in, you know, your OCD moment, you know. But if we go out and we buy 6 of the same size little, you know, fabric tubs,
whatever,
you know, like, and the kid just, and you go and you just fling everything in. Guess what? At the end of it, it's still clean.
It's still put away.
It's still put away.
A lot of, I don't mean this word to sound negative, but like, do you work with a lot of moms who are like real neurotic or very like uptight, and they're like, it doesn't work because it has to be this 100% perfect parameter, and you're like, but what if we get 70%? And they're like, oh, freedom.
Oh yeah. I like it. One of my favorite statements is good enough is good enough.
Oh, like, I tell everyone to half-ass everything. I'm like, we only whole ass so many things.
Right?
As everything else.
Like, good enough, that's what it means. It means it's good.
So did you die? No? Okay, it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
I love that. So it sounds like you give women not only systems that they can like fill in and make their own, which I think is the best form of coaching. Like if you're giving people answers, you're not a coach.
Yeah.
That's not okay. Stop doing that. So I love that you're not doing that, because then I would have been like, I have to get out of this call. Shoving breadsticks in my purse, like I have to leave. But you also give them permission to like not be perfect, and it's okay. Like at the end of the day, is your kid still alive? Well, great. Everything else is figure outable.
Everything else is figure outable.
I'm like, if you're not dead, everything else is figure outable. And if you're dead, well, now you don't have to worry about it.
Seriously.
Nice. So it's fine. We don't have any problems. So is your kid still alive at the end of the day? Everything else is figure outable.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And we can figure it out in ways that make it better for both of us. Like I've been watching all of these things about kids that are homeschooled. And, you know, nowadays the idea of homeschool is so different. You have world school.
Oh my God.
I mean, like my daughter can tell you all about Jamaica. Like, I mean, you know, she could tell you, you know, the rivers, the mountains, the different fruits, the plants, the vegetables, you know, all of that. And I'm sitting here like, you know, I just watched another family again, an African-American family that moved to Playa del Carmen in Mexico. I mean, again, these kids are getting to see things that they would never get to see, that they're only reading about in books.
Right.
You know, the Dia de los Muertos, when that comes out, that's like the coolest freaking day in the world down there. Like, I mean, like, I would love for my daughter to get to see some of those things. I get to see Carnival in Rio, or get to see the Expo in Dubai, or get to see. I mean, like I could literally just go on and on and on.
Right. There's an endless amount of things to experience, and you get to, if you get the systems right, if you plan appropriately. And I find that a lot of people really struggle to plan because they don't really know how to problem solve. So they're like, okay, I want to do this thing, but then they're like, I don't know how to get there. And then it feels too overwhelming and they give up. So I think having a coach who, well, has been there, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But someone who, again, teaches you how to think. Okay, what's the first step you take? Well, I would do this. Amazing. What's the next step? Well, I would do this. Amazing. And eventually you have a plan and you've taught them to think.
Yes.
So
and how, like you said, to create, not only to create, but how to maintain the systems that worked.
Yes. Right. We don't want people dependent on us. Like that is so disempowering. And I have a friend of mine who, we were talking about therapy, and this is one of the hills that I will die on as a therapist, is like the entire job of a coach or a therapist is to get you to fire them.
Yes.
That's the job.
Yes.
And she was like, I was seeing my therapist 4 times a week. And I was like, girl, that was my face. And I was like, I said, were you actively suicidal? And she's like, no. And I was like, what the hell? And I said, listen, I've had super actively suicidal clients where I'm like, please don't die between now and the next session. Like, seriously worried about it. And I was like, the most I ever saw them was 2 times a week.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Twice.
that is not okay. And she's like, yeah, I really didn't think it was okay. So she ended up not working with them anymore, thank God. But I was like, okay, that's not the point. That's not the point. Like, we want you to fire us when the time is right. And we want you to not need us again. Like, because there's always going to be people who need this too. Like, there's an endless stream of moms who are struggling, and they don't have to. They don't have to. And they just need education and systems. And it's like, boom, here you are. And you get to do it while traveling the world. Like, goals. Oh my God, you are so cool. Like, oh my God, cool. I want to be as cool as you. I'm not joking. Literally not joking.
I'm gonna be still for about 6 months. Well, not really, because I still have some more traveling.
You're like, psych, we're still traveling.
Like, never mind.
Never mind, I'm not doing that. That sounds terrible. I don't wanna. Am I gonna let? I just imagine your little like 5-year-old in a backpack.
Yeah, like I swear when she used to be able to strap onto my chest, that's exactly how she was.
We're just going backpacking. That's so funny.
She's amazing. I used to take her on I get a little scooter. You know, when we go to like just ride the little scooter along with her strapped to my chest, her face in the wind.
Did she have little baby goggles? Because
she did. I did.
She did. Die.
She just loved it. She loved it. She still does. She's
die. I need you to do a business as well, like travel blogging.
We're working on it. Actually, we're working on single mom travel specifically. I think our first trip is going to be to Costa Rica. So we are working on it. Yes. Yeah. We're working on it.
I'm obsessed with you.
We're working.
Like, you think I'm playing. You like literally have the life I want. You travel all the time. You have this dope team changing lives. You're doing this work that's changing lives. Like, ma'am, I am going to stalk you. How do I be you? Everyone is like, oh my God, Amanda's fangirling. Yes, I am. Yes, you literally are. Okay. When we get off this call,
check out my website. That's the first thing.
I'm going to just I'm going to send you an email with like a million questions and be like, how do you do this?
Yeah, it's going to be great. drcandacedrummond.com. Easy.
Love it. So how do people find you if they're as obsessed with you as I am, which like they should be?
I mean, that's the easiest way is through my website, drcandacedrummond.com. On there, you can contact me. There's a contact us form, of course. Then you can find out all about me. You can find out about Avid Intellectual, which is the psychological testing. You can get, you can see which insurances we take, because I think we take about 5 or 6 different insurances now. You can schedule virtual testing. So I showed the different purposes that we do testing for: emotional support animals, immigration, disability, lots of different needs that people need, or even just second opinion or diagnostic clarification. Then the Momscapades, which is my coaching brand. There you'll find actually our beauty and nutrition stuff. So you'll find face serums, face masks, body balms, body scrubs, like all kinds of like self-care items, hair, stuff, like all kinds of really cool items, and a personalized travel booking site, Momscapades Travel. You'll find there. So you'll see all of our hot deals and travel deals. And then coming up, like I said, I'm going to be advertising in the next couple of weeks our spring break trips that are for single moms. So we're going to be having 2 spring break trips for moms that will be in, I believe, like I said, Costa Rica next year. And then also
literally obsessed with you. Like,
then there's the shop site as well that's got like daily affirmations, the Mommy Me Time course, how to stop insomnia, get yourself good sleep, like all of those things that are really important for self-care. So all that is on my website. And then you can also contact me, just put in your name, email, and join my newsletter mailing list. So
yours literally so cool. Literally. I don't even know what to do. I'm Okay. Y'all, listen, go exist in her orbit.
I would love it. I would love it.
It's needed.
Yeah.
You do so much. Like, I'm a big fan of like putting people in your orbit, especially thank God for the internet, who like do what you want to do, right? Like we become who we exchange the most energy with. So if you're exchanging energy with people who you're like, their life is so dope, guess what? Your life is going to be more dope.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. This was beautiful.
Thank you so much for having me.
Literally inspiring.
Thank you.
So inspiring. I just want to be you. I just want to be you. Like, I love being me. I want to be like me with like very cool aspects of you.
Of you. I got you.
That's
sprinkle a little you.
Sprinkle, right. Like Salt Bay. I need like Salt Bay to sprinkle some of that like travel and some of the like totally badass business. Like, I'm like, I can't even, my brain is like swirling right now. I can't even think. But CandaceDrummond.com is where they find you. What's your like Instagram handle?
Dr. Candace Drummond.
Oh, Dr. Candace Drummond. Yes. Doctor. Now every appointment is a doctor's appointment. Can't forget it. We got that PhD. We doing it.
With Facebook, I'm also Dr. Candace Drummond. Instagram, also Dr. Candace Drummond. So
it's consistent. We love it. Dude, thank you so much. You are a gem.
My pleasure. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you so much.